Hello everybody, my name is Dion, and I'm back with Jade Yuki.
Hi.
And we're going to be continuing the letter after a month break, so, and if you are real quiet, you can hear a heartbeat. I don't know whose heartbeat it is, but you hear something. So we're back with, Madame Hana, and I don't really remember anything.
Where we were at.
What's the cat stuff? But we're gonna find out, so. Oh, we just switched.
Started.
Okay, so that was Isabel's, I think, heartbeat.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah,
I
see.
Quick time and you failed like 500 times. That little.
You failed too. Everybody failed.
Hey, we all failed.
It's fine. I don't think we didn't read any of this.
No,
we just got to this and then quit. Yeah. Okay. Who's reading today? I don't remember who read last time.
I don't remember.
Alright, I guess I'll read. It is far too easy to get them to pay attention and raptured. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile if we are honest. And a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am.
Hannah Wright!
What the hell was that voice?
Hello.
There's a moment of agitation as a familiar but less than welcome face approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. First, I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. Good friend? After all, this man could turn heads being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He is more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I'm quite sure I'm only invited his wife. Much like I am only friends with the chief inspector because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me.
Yeah, but anywhere the missus goes, the husband's gotta go with.
Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an all sort of friendship where we would have awkward double dates. I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think. I might be wrong. Aside from being chief inspector of Luxembourg Police, his wife, Rochelle Lee Nee Vance, owns a general electronics company. Fridges and freezers, mostly. Interesting.
Oh, I always have time for my favourite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight.
Keep it in your pants.
I see the
Calm
husband is
down.
with ya.
Keep them on. Keep them on.
The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl.
Keep them on.
I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones. Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets, and getting close just because my husband is not here.
Top or bottom.
And everybody has different preferences.
I mean,
You're right.
I mean, she's got assets of both.
That's true. And to think they have the gall to do this at my own party.
In my own home.
In my own house, if I might add. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Rochelle isn't here.
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor. The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with a doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
Being pregnant
No,
and all.
that's nothing. Just carrying a baby.
Whatever. We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin? I've never seen that word before. I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He is a nice enough person, I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. It couldn't be that smirk, or the way he's, like, eyeing you up, or anything like that. No. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He regales? I think.
He regales to me the tale of the Luxembourg.
Yeah, of the Luxembourg. That's not spelled correctly, but okay. Of a different affair to the usual gossip I'm privy to, and though I loathe to admit it, is interesting nonetheless. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong!
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the mutant chasing on foot and screaming about theft.
This would be like one of those things where, like, I'm sitting in, you know, the office and, like, somebody beside me is taking a phone call and the person's telling them their life story and they hang up the phone and they're like, I did not need to hear 6 hours of that.
Well, that, and for that new
Jesus
temp,
Christ.
you'd think he'd know what the chief of police looks like, even in civvies.
The look on his face was priceless when I parked in the garage.
Garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Oh, he's committed in order to follow him that far.
Jesus. Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He is a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. A lifetime if you compare it to the marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is not Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments.
Now the wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
Yeah, I don't know anything, but I don't want to know anything. You can just not tell me anything, and I would be perfectly fine.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown. I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife.
That's what work
I
is
wouldn't
for.
mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. That something mansion, you know the one with all the ghost stories.
Yeah, you know, the one that
Yes.
they're buying.
Well, they haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is right before.
Yeah, I know what he is talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's...
The Ermengaude Mansion?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper.
Mhm. That's a lot of money.
You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace. She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card right at... No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? Marianne, I believe, yes. But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
So that's why they were so interested about it.
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself. This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people.
No,
Jesus
I wouldn't
Christ,
know what
that's
to-
a mansion for me.
I wouldn't know what to do with all that space.
Okay, maybe a lot of people.
Yeah.
But it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. I mean, you're having a grand party right now.
3 floors isn't enough.
As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels cramped in here. 30 people? That's enough in one house. Certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words and not mine. Besides, I've been looking for a good anniversary gift.
I'll just buy him a house.
Luke might like this one. I mean, they're rich, so it's like you gotta have a pretty big, like, gift, I guess, if you're that rich. Where is he anyway?
We never found out where he went.
Who is this? Luke is dressed to the nines as he usually is, and he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait at his side just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Ah, sure, that is normal. What's confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later.
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol. And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place.
Mm-hmm.
I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this. This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere. You know how I operate, Hana. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis. And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
He did. Wondered about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but...
Whose side are you on?
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff, and you are going to take a cab home. Are we clear?
Jesus. It's just a bit of a husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments.
Between looking at a house and going to a wine tasting, like, good lord.
Once their honeymoon phase is over, as they seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always seem eye to eye. Perhaps it has been the years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the triad tasting.
Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements, and I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an hour and a half drive.
Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully? No, I think he's just a dick.
Yeah.
I think he's just a dick.
He's a straight up dick.
But Cardiff!
But Cardiff!
Certainly any problem can be discussed, as long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hana?
Oh.
Listen. This bitch. Listen. I am going to defend myself, because...
Oh my god.
Forget this asshole.
Yes, I am very happy, Luke. Because for once in a very long time, we are doing what I want.
That's gonna make our relationship go way down, but...
I was gonna say, how... It went up.
It went up! Holy shit, I guess that was the good choice then.
I'm ecstatic. Understood?
He must really
And
like
this
a
would be
woman that can
perfect
stand
if
her
you
ground.
stop acting like a child who needs their nappy changed.
Ooh, damn. Tell him what for.
We will be leaving after lunch for the Ermengaude Mansion. You are going to park your rear in the car and keep mum. And you are going to behave during the tour.
Sounds more like a, you know, mother than a
Well, I mean, considering
wife.
how he acts, I mean, she's got a mother
Yeah,
him.
that's true. Needless to say, Luke looks a bit shocked at my little outburst. He's kind of like an overgrown man-child.
Yeah.
He opened and closed his mouth a few times, struggling to reply before he crosses his arms to look like, well, a moping child.
Any more rules for this little excursion of yours, Your Highness?
No wine.
No wine.
No.
Unacceptable! I am already
Unacceptable.
not allowed to the tasting, and you would deprive me of that simple pleasure?
If I see you take one sip today, I will put the stocks under lock and key. Do you understand me?
Don't forget the bottles he keeps in his dresser.
Whose side are you on?
How many times in one day can you ask that?
As many times as I need you, traitor.
Oh, I love Johan.
The ride to the mansion is quiet, when Luke, having stared out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I am conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that, but by the time we arrive at the mansion, I see his eyes light up in genuine interest. Apologizing is the last thing on my mind. The whole affair with the Ermengaude Mansion is certainly an interesting experience. An experience, yeah. Yeah, it's an experience. The place has been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It is tastefully decorated, and with a little bit of love and affection and attention, I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I
With
can
a
call
little
home.
love and affection.
Yeah, a little love and affection. And the number of other prospective buyers that have come for this powerful and wealthy... from the powerful and wealthy... Wow, I cannot talk today. Of Luxburn certainly did not disappoint, marking this estate as prime property.
Amazon Prime property?
I don't know.
I believe it.
Yeah, I could see this as a listing. Amazon's doing houses now?
I mean, it'd be a
Probably.
guaranteed way in order to get a house.
It's true. The Lees are amongst a group who went with the Rose Woman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really like the mingling. Unfortunately for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. What's been bugging my mind, however... It's so weird seeing her on the other side.
I know.
Holy crap!
It takes a minute.
What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabel. What is her problem? I still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she is scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale.
Oh, that's after giving them the letter.
Yeah, though she is panicked over some sort of prank letter or another.
Dear me. Is Isabel alright?
It is apparent with the way she shakes and by the pallor of her skin, something has really shaken her up.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
I am worried, but it will be best if she is attended by someone more familiar to her, like her partner. But even then, the girl refuses Rose's offered drink and looks just about ready to make a run for it.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me, I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
She needs more than that. She needs therapy. Oh, wait, I didn't read that, sorry.
How dare you?
And she does so, just as I predicted, and her partner follows like a concerned mother. There is an awkward air amongst us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor, daft girl and telling the tale to whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman, Rose, to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. Ooh, we've not seen this room before. Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well. But the woman refuses, saying she is not one of her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke, the last all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young, and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head.
You know, if he, pulled his hair down, he'd look a lot like that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And it
I see
must
the
be this
resemblance.
terrible heat, too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Are you sure it is wise to just let her go like that? Where is the poor dear? She might get hurt.
Yeah, they all assume that she's just sitting
She's
at the
more likely to
stairs or
hurt
something, and
somebody
she took
else,
off with
given
Ash
what just
and
Yeah.
didn't tell anybody.
I told her to sit down and take a break. Already rang someone to pick her up, too.
That might be for the best, dear. But please, we're here to talk about the mansion, yes? Why, I absolutely adore it. Don't you, Luke? Some of the rooms will certainly have to be repurposed. We want to change the appliances and have Marianne lead on the decor, but the whole thing is just lovely.
I guess. It's certainly a lot roomier than our penthouse.
Exactly. Lots of space for guests, parties, a lot of room for little ones to run around too.
She wants kids.
Let's not discuss that right now, Buttercup.
She wants kids. He does not.
Anyway, I do think it would be a shame to let this mansion slip past us.
All he wants to do is just go to wine
But you
tastings.
haven't even finished touring the house.
Well, we like what we've seen.
Am I making her job easier for her? Am I not? No need for loans, no price negotiations. We can just sign a contract and close the deal.
But there's still protocol.
Really, you think the woman will be more happy about an easy sale? I know how these estate agents worked, how long they had to wait, and how much they had to spend even just for a single sale. Why, she should be jumping for joy by now. Yeah, but there's, paperwork, steps, all that. Sure, the commission on this mansion is nothing to sneeze at, even if she has to split it with the Isabella girl.
Huh, do you think we could have horses here?
Yes, those do sound nice, love. Anyway, if anyone else is interested in buying this property, I assure you that I'm able and willing to give a better offer.
A vineyard would be nice. Or maybe
And we do reward our people quite generously, Rose. So So, if I were you, I would start on that paperwork.
Helicopter pad.
I pause. There's a small amount of complete silence where Rose and I just stare incredulously at Luke. It is an unspoken understanding, a rule between the two of us that we have to put on an act. With our social standing where image matters, it is also important to avoid making enemies. To follow this rule is an easy feat for me. From youth, I have been a well-trained social butterfly, gracious and graceful. Luke, on the other hand...
Oh, wait, what, Luke? No, what? Whatever would we need a helipad for?
Well, he likes to play the fool sometimes, even if he is anything but. As he throws me a wry smile, I shake my head and beckon Rose over. This is to be our home, and there is nothing she or anyone else can do to change my mind. This is a place that speaks of power and importance, and at the same time of safety and comfort. Safety and comfort?
They haven't seen jack shit yet, so they don't know.
Perhaps we can even have our family here. I don't know about that. There is definitely no better gift than this for our special date. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. Oh, Jesus. Except this ugly painting in the study. Looks like a bad fake of an Edvard Munch painting.
Here's the deal. I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price. If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%. I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Marianne? Oh, right! She's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I'll need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There is a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see the moment when she steels herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project, then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
Every time. The hush falls upon the room at my request.
What painting?
And lo and behold, the painting is gone.
I think it was the mirror.
In its place, a mirror stands, which leads me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter. Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear,
Very
we're simply
odd.
far too busy to meet up.
I'd have been like, oh, you know, the painting in the back. I would still say free up my
schedule. Yeah, I'm sure she could find, you know.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you.
Yep. Okay, so we went up with her. That's good. We're doing great! I stood up for myself. I set up my
Monday
schedule.
reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day. What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house has a higher priority over book club. Why, we can hold the next meeting in this place. Yeah. You know, if you don't get killed by a ghost first. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it all will inspire spirited and lively debates about whether modern-day writers could match up to the classics. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs buying this mansion requires of me. Any social activity can be put off until the Ermengaude, or rather the Wright's mansion's great debut. I'll have my fill of great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good. Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Breakfast then. It's a date.
It's really not.
Ooh.
All right. Monday, 10 o'clock sharp.
Hey, I'd marry Marianne.
We'll see you then.
You do, Marianne?
Yeah. Well, you know, cuddles. Actually, Marianne suggested that we meet at 9, but who is even awake at that hour? 9 in the morning? That's not that early. Come on,
for some
man.
for some night owls, that is ungodly.
I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff.
He still went to Cardiff?
I guess he did.
What? I thought they said no wine.
Oh god, apparently that went out the window. We say our
there's
goodbyes,
trash bag, man.
shake hands.
With the crumpled leaves.
Yeah. We say our goodbyes, shake hands, and make it clear without outright saying it that we now own this house. Trash bag. It really does sound like that, though.
It's just like a trash bag full of like fallen leaves.
Mm-hmm. By the time we leave the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then?
Mm-hmm.
That's a bit of a big impulse buy, even coming from you.
I'm sure you have even, you know, bigger impulse buys than I do.
Not that I'm complaining.
I feel elation when I hear those words from him. It's not every day one is able to please someone like Luke.
Do you wonder why?
Yeah. He gives away false flattery to sway those who starve for his attention and approval. But in the privacy of closed doors, he would often express his grievances. He neither censored himself in front of me nor spared me from his criticism.
You have been saying the penthouse was getting a bit too small for you. Happy anniversary!
Oh. That time of the year already?
Fucking hell, this
Like, what?
asshole! That time of year already? Like,
It's
it's
like-
been 7 years! Like, come on,
like-
man!
Oh,
He forgot about it last year, too.
I'm not surprised.
He's probably drunk still. I understand that he's a busy man, but...
Is that why you want to buy it?
Yes. You don't like it?
I do. But I remember you used to talk about how you wanted to live next to the beach.
Botany Bay, Kent. I remember the sea, water that stretched on for miles and miles as far as the eye can see. As a kid, I loved our beach trips, swimming all day as much as I could. I was a well-behaved child, and the only time I was ever truly difficult was when I refused to get out of the waters, even when my fingers had gone all wrinkly. And even when they managed to pull me out of the water, there was always sandcastles. The day before we married, I told Luke that I wanted a house on a beach, and a dog, and a kid or two. None of those came true 7 years later.
That was a
That's a
childish
long
dream.
time.
Mm-hmm.
Living next
To not
the
have
beach
any
is
kids
so
or a pet,
impractical if you really
or,
think
like-
about
Yeah, I don't
it.
even know what their ages are. 30?
Does it probably doesn't say.
No, I think it does. Go to no, not relationship. Go to the journal.
Profiles. Yeah,
26.
26. She's 31. Wow, she does not look 31. Holy hell. Oh, I haven't discovered
No,
that
we'll
one
unlock
yet.
those when we get to their chapters.
Okay. Yeah, she's 31, so he's probably 30 or 31. I'm not sure who's older. Let's go ahead and clear those up now.
I don't know. It's not a bad thought to see you in a bathing suit every day.
Ooh.
Maybe another time, love. We still have forever, don't we?
He says nothing, only grabbing my hand and holding it tight as we spend the rest of the ride home in silence. I miss the sea. Sick and hovering over the loo at 3 in the morning, the picture I paint right now is hardly glamorous. A horribly fishy taste is left in my mouth as I throw up what I had for dinner, and I hate the acrid stench that fills the laboratory. The burning sensation in the back of my throat is of no help whatsoever. I feel another wave of nausea coming up on me when the door opens. Is she pregnant? Or is she just hungover?
I don't know if it's food poisoning or...
Hannah, what are you doing so early out of bed?
I'm fine, love. I must have just eaten something bad.
That's all I managed to say before vomiting again to the porcelain throne.
How many times can we avoid saying the word toilet?
Lovely.
Just go back to bed, Luke.
Right? While they're trying to use, like...
I'm going to clean up here.
I refuse to look at him. I don't want him to see me like this. Last time I've had a horrible morning retching into a toilet was during my college years, being the life of the party. She went to college? Thoughtless and shameless, I had thrown away months to frivolous merriment and pointless hookups. I didn't even retain any of the connections I had made from that time.
She was a real sorority girl.
Ooh. Sure, they still know of me and I still know of them, and we still do business from time to time. But I've lost touch with anyone who I didn't see on a daily basis. It be like that sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I hardly have any of the friends I had when I was still Hannah Evans, teachers, fellow university students, drinking buddies, and old conquests like Jack.
No, don't touch me,
This is a
sweetie.
CG?
It's disgusting.
Yeah, her.
I'm disgusting.
Luke sits down next to me on the toilet floor to hold my hair as I cough up more fish. Ugh.
Yeah, but he's at least actually trying to be.
Right, at least he's trying. He
Karen.
wipes the vomit from the corner of my mouth and just stares.
Do I need to fire someone? I don't feel sick.
Just feeling a bit under the weather, dear. It's been unbearably hot as of late, hasn't it? I do wish it would rain.
Are you sure it wasn't those sweets? I told you not to eat those sweets.
Maybe. Well, don't laugh.
Well, I can't help if you make that sort of face.
He starts chuckling, and soon enough, he's in a fit of laughter. This scene happening next to a loo filled with sick just makes the whole thing bizarre, and it nearly makes me start giggling as well. I try to stifle it, though, as I smack him on the shoulder.
I'm not making a face, Luke. Stop laughing. Shut up.
He would not stop laughing. I let myself go as laughter bubbles from my own throat, and I forget whatever ill feelings plagued me. We are just husband and wife laughing together at a funny face, the little things in life. I let myself go because I know that these moments will not last forever. But if I just know the terrible things that are going to come for us, I would have wished with everything I had then and there that the laughter stayed. Feels bad. Feels bad, man.
Hiya! Come on now!
The place is bustling with movers, carrying furnishings here and there, along with several trunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. Luke watches them like a hawk, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now. I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings. Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
Luke, do the dishwashers go into the kitchen or the butler's pantry?
Pantry, Buttercup. Careful, that's a
That is mahogany!
No.
It's always
you there,
mahogany.
Put that down. You do not manhandle a Napoleon Abueva.
Well, are they gonna be able to move anything? Like, I can see the exasperation. I have to send the foreman an apologetic glance. Even Johans rolls his eyes as he goes by. Considering Luke is always like this during a project, Johans and I have gotten used to it. Poor Marianne, on the other hand, looks a bit stressed at seeing the gigantic mess before quickly going back to work. Everything just has to be perfect. Exactly the way he wants it. One little thing out of place, one little thing that didn't fit the image he clearly constructed in his head, and Luke gets bent out of shape.
Sweetie, why don't we go and sort your suits upstairs? Let Johans and Marianne and the foreman deal with the rest of the work.
We have this, Mrs. Wright.
Yes, please do go before a blood vessel bursts. Bloodstains are so troublesome to clean.
You would know?
I'm sure they've had some bloody noses.
Taking him by the hand, I lead him upstairs into our bedroom. The place has been arranged first so that we can get some rest, no matter what state the rest of the mansion is in. Ooh, that is really pretty.
I love the balcony.
Yeah, I would love to have a balcony. Oh my god, that would make like the best, stargazing. That'd be great. I am definitely glad I can just lie down on a soft, comfy bed after what has been a busy morning, to say the least. And there's like 3. That's a triple bed. There's 3 sets of pillows.
It's one of those big old
Ooh.
king-size beds.
Ooh! Watching Luke act like his life depending on getting this move done is tiring all on its own. And to think I have a whole day of this ahead of me. I feel the bed dip beside me as Luke sits down with a sigh.
Well, I can't wait for this to be over.
I don't
Moving
know.
sucks.
It's fun seeing you all fired up. Here at home and not at work, you know.
You know I can't always be home, Hannah. I have a company to run, unless you've forgotten.
I haven't forgotten. You're the one who insists on being there to make sure each and every little thing is under control. I just really miss you sometimes, and I wish you were at home more often. Why, if you're not careful, I might go a bit loopy and I'll start bringing cats home.
Hey, there are worse things that could happen.
And soon enough, one day you'll find yourself going home to a farm just filled with felines that follow you everywhere.
Oh, don't bluff. The things would shred up your precious furniture. Besides, you don't even like cats.
True. Dogs are infinitely superior.
I don't
of
know
course.
about superior.
They're more lovable.
Yeah, I mean, I can see the appeal of either or, but I'm just cats fit my
Your aesthetic better.
yeah. Well, my my introverted nature better, I guess.
But what about the wet dog
The wet
smell?
dogs.
The mess. I'm not cleaning up after a mutt, no matter how cute. If you think about it, a cat would be better.
Make up your mind. Do you want the cat or the dog? It's not always that we can just lie down and talk about these sorts of things.
Either way, you gotta clean up all that.
To joke
fur.
around as if we're teenagers again, with very little problem in the way of responsibilities and roles. I hear his genuine, honest-to-goodness laughter as a rarity. This is just the second time as of late, and I can only see it as signs of good things to
All
come.
good points. I guess we could just have kids. That is, if you prefer dealing with soiled nappies and sick as opposed to dead birds, mice, and litter boxes. I've already told Marianne about turning the second bedroom into a children's room.
I guess sometimes I don't know when I'm crossing a line. I didn't say that I'm a good comedian, did I?
Not this again.
He really doesn't want kids.
What? I wasn't being serious.
It's not something you take the piss out of. Having a kid is a big responsibility, Hannah. We've talked about this, haven't we?
You're literally like in your 30s. Like, come on.
I'm not ready to be a parent. I'd probably end up killing the little brat by the week's end.
That's your crotch spawn.
That's a bit difficult. I feel like if I say you'll be a great father, he's gonna get mad. But like, he's gotta get over it. I mean,
He's gonna have to eventually because he's gotta have an heir to the
Yeah.
company at some point.
right. I mean, that's true too. I didn't think about that. I mean, like, they're in their 30s and they're married. Like, come on. Not that I mean,
They're getting to the end of her.
at the very
cycle.
least, they should like adopt or something. Like, even if they don't want to have a kid physically. I think we should tell him. He's got to step it up a little bit.
Think the drunkard's got potential.
He's kind of an asshole, but I think Hannah can
He would corrupt the child
probably.
so quick.
Kylie likes you well enough.
Oh, that.
Oh, it went
way
up. Oh.
Oh.
The mention of our little goddaughter places a conflicted look on his face.
Oh, I remember Kylie.
You know about Kylie. I don't know
Yeah,
about
I know
Kylie.
about Kylie.
Okay. Sometimes it is cute when he denies having a soft spot for the little girl. But then sometimes it's sad, and it makes me wonder what happened to make him think so poorly of himself in this regard.
Oh, he wants
Yes,
a little daddy's girl.
it's Kylie. The tyke likes everybody and, on the off chance she doesn't, likes them well enough as long as they buy her sweets.
Mm.
And sure, that kid is great. But if I get tired of her, I can ship her back to her father at the end of the day.
That is
This is fair.
that is true.
Having kids of our own will be a whole different monster entirely.
I had never heard him talk about his father in anything but a business context. I recall Damien Wright kept hearing about him from my own father even before I met Luke. The business world praised him for running a tight ship, all but until one mistake led to a great loss for the enterprise. It was then that the news of Luke Wright, prodigy son and successor to the old man, started to show up, and he aided in its recovery and growth up until the Great Recession. I'm getting a bit off track. Regardless, I have never heard him talk about his father like one would talk about family.
I think you'll be a great father.
Oh, there is a smile no matter how half-hearted it may be. I do really think that. He might not be a good, honest man. A part of me knows that, though I try to silence it. But I know Luke well enough that he will be a better father than either Damien Wright or Henry
Now, he may
Evans.
not be a good or honest man, and I might not trust him enough to come home sober, but he'll be a great dad. He'll be fine.
I mean, we could work on that. I love my father, but he never had the time.
If it is any consolation, I think you'd be a decent mother.
Decent.
Woo.
Decent.
Woo. On the other hand, I have never heard of his mother. A silence settles both comfortable and uncomfortable. There is familiarity in each other's company despite the awkwardness that had transpired. Defenses and masks down without anybody else looking, we are both together and alone in this quiet. But a crash from downstairs startles us both from our reverie.
Uh-oh.
Luke lets out a heavy sigh before coming up to his feet and straightening his jacket.
I'll have to attend to that then.
Be good, darling. And watch out for your blood pressure.
He gives me a kiss on the cheek before leaving while I lay there in a daze. Alone, as per usual.
Yeah, then he walks up, like, I gotta kick somebody's ass. I'm all broke for shit.
About to whip some.
Somebody broke my fine china.
I really should be used to it by now. I can feel the minutes tick by with me just laying there, feeling miserable and full of self-pity. I have rolled over to lie on my stomach at this point with my face buried in the pillows when there's a knock at the door. Grumbling at them to go away doesn't work as a voice comes from the other side.
Madam, the
I thought it was
photographer
gonna be,
from Luxury
help
Living is
me!
here.
Not again!
No, just yawns.
Wait, is that today? Oh yes. People had caught wind of our new mansion the very moment we left the open house. Luke had boasted he could acquire the property in no time and allowed a photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today.
He just got to keep his mouth shut.
Whew. Well, there were complications and it took longer than it usually does for us.
In a minute, Hansi.
Johannes, if you could at least make it through the end.
Tell them I'll be right down, Hansi.
It's Hansi.
The mansion grounds has been one of the first things to be fixed up, aside from the bedroom. Although it's still work in progress, it had a promising start, and I can already see the flower patches. Flower patches? Where? Luke's favorite daffodil stands out easily, having been transplanted from the pots that used to litter the rooftop of our penthouse. Why, if the moving crew thought that Luke was being hard on them, they clearly didn't see the landscape around his way out. The man looked like he was ready to faint, and Luke seemed ready to kill him by the end of their discussion.
There's
Zach! It is in the gardens I see him standing near the flowers in quiet admiration. He is hard to miss, the hulk of a man that clearly did not belong, and the big backpack and suitcase he has with him makes him look much larger. It is a peculiar sight seeing someone who looks like he does handling little delicate things with such care. He looks up from his gardens and does a double take before a friendly face replaces his serene expression.
Miss Wright, yeah? Hi, Zachary Steele here from Luxury Living, ma'am. Hope you weren't waiting too long. But it looks like you're still moving in, huh? Thought for a second there my calendar was wrong and I came here too early.
You look familiar. Have we met?
I have a very wide social circle, so everyone looked familiar at one point or another. But one would think I remember someone who stands out like him. Yeah, he's pretty tall. The struggle to recall must have been evident on his face as he quickly and kindly answers my question.
Oh, I was with Isabella, your estate agent, when she had the house blessed.
He was.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So she would have been with Ash, wouldn't she? If they hadn't blessed the house? Or something? Because he said he would have, like, investigate the house or whatever. I think instead.
They would have gone to the professor and, like, researched about the history of the house, I think.
Okay. But because we chose the priest, he came to the mansion, and so she recognizes him.
Yeah, and then got called the...
But otherwise, she wouldn't have recognized
And then got called the N-word while they were blessing the house. I think was it at that point. It flew out of his mouth at some point. I don't remember exactly when.
Small world, isn't it?
It's the little things.
Should have known you were Miss Wright.
The one and only. Welcome, welcome to Maison de Wright. And yes, we've been in the process of moving in as we were delayed, but it won't be a problem. They're just adding a few things here and there, and you should still be able to do your work. Where's the rest of your crew then, Mr. Steele?
Zach is fine, please. Mr. Steele makes me feel like I'm a mascot for a cleaning product. Anyway, I'll be your one-man crew for today. Don't worry, been doing this gig for a while now.
You must be quite the veteran to handle this on your own. We've had a full crew coming into our penthouse the last time we were covered in your magazine.
Veteran? Oh, your words are too kind, Miss Wright.
Hannah! If I get to call you Zach, you have my permission to call me Hannah.
Alrighty then. Anyway, I'm no veteran, but I know my camera well enough to make sure this is a good shoot. You can trust me on that, Miss Wright. Hannah.
Achievement unlocked. Cool. Zachary approves quickly enough that I can, in fact, trust him. His skills with the camera and experience in this industry, at the very least. He is kind and courteous, listening and following as I lead him around the house. Really nice fellow, and he treats our household staff well whenever we cross paths with them. I answer his questions to the best of my ability, and he is patient enough to answer mine whenever I get curious enough. For one, I ask what the bags are for. They are quite the magician's toolkit. From inside, he has procured several items to embellish the interior with. Bowls of fruits, lemons, trays with peppermills, stacks of cookbooks, cutting boards, and glass canisters filled with colorful nuts and grains are brought in for a kitchen setting. For the bathroom, there are white towels, seashells, and decorative soaps. How many bags did he have? There are other things as well, too numerous to count, all in a large backpack and suitcase.
Tricks of the trade. Softens up a room, makes a place feel more homey, and fills it up with texture. But you guys probably have better stuff I can use for this.
No lights. Don't tell me all of these are just props.
Well, I've got my tripod here. For things like these, natural light is best. I'll just have to set the shutter speed to a real slow setting, and as long as nobody steps into the shot, it'll look great.
Oh, it better.
We go through the rooms one at a time, although we first tackle the ones that the movers have no business in anymore. Ooh. I like that decal in the ceiling. That's pretty. The barroom needs little preparation with its grand design. Although there is some trouble at first with the wide open space and the pictures being backlit. It is in the kitchen that Zachary's props come in handy, considering how Johann's kept the place so neat and sterile so one could practically eat off the floor. We carry on touring the house and taking pictures where we can, with exception to the rooms which have yet to gain any purpose or design. Too bad I can't take a sneak peek at his photos yet. Funnily enough, he's using a traditional camera I didn't even know films existed. With the way he speaks, however, I could see that he knows enough about his craft that I'm not too worried about botched photographs. I imagine photography must be cathartic for him, judging by how at ease he looks when taking pictures. There are small snippets of conversation in between the clicking of his camera. He even goes far as to talk about these terminologies like shutter speeds and aperture when I ask about the technical aspects. Can't see quite the picture as it is made, much like when I watch artists paint at their canvas, but just watching someone passionately practicing their craft such as this is exciting in its own way. Going through the many rooms has been quite the exercise for both of us.
Oh, I bet with how big the place is.
Despite that, he has been so nice and I find myself putting on my best smile. But it is as we're taking pictures in the foyer that everything comes to a standstill for a moment. Just a moment. And had I not been paying attention, I wouldn't have even noticed. In merely a split second when Zachary's rhythms is put to a halt. Oh! His finger doesn't move to release the shutter. Yet he doesn't pull the camera away from his face, gaze still firmly fixed through the viewfinder. His hands shake and there is a light sheen of sweat on his forehead.
Like, I'm surprised we're seeing this from her perspective when she wouldn't even know that something's behind her.
Like,
and he's seeing it.
She's literally got her hands on her face. Like, how do you not know? No response.
Zach, is something the matter?
Lowering his camera, he blinks and stares at something behind me before shaking his head. Turning around, though, I see nothing that could have gotten his attention.
Oh, no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something, that's all. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
I struggle to respond this time. There's a sudden weight on my back and an indescribable tightness around my throat. Everything stops, and everything starts again as I manage to choke out.
If you're sure.
Whew. I don't know what just happened. It was probably just a dizzy spell. I'm sure it's fine. Everything.
Well, then Zach realized in that moment, the blessing did not work.
I'm fine. And he said he's fine. We continue at the same pace as before, although there is still an unspoken agreement that we will not talk about what happened.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
And then back to happy
I just freelance.
Yep.
Magazines, newspapers,
Death,
and events.
ghosts, blood.
So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do.
Mm-hmm.
At least, not all the time.
What is it that you want to do then?
At least he's doing something in his line that he likes to do, though. Maybe I've been out of line sticking my nose into other people's business, but I can't help but ask. I regret doing so as I see his shoulders slump and the easygoing air he has fades away. He looks torn over whether he wants to talk about it or not.
Films. Documentaries, mostly. But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right?
That is true.
I was working on this thing, actually.
What thing?
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like blue foncé very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Baby a lot more.
Very funny.
So, Grand Director, do you want to tell me what Blue Foncé is all about?
He hesitates. When I refuse to budge on the matter, he gives in and spills it all out. Blue Foncé, oh god. Mejor la plus sombre des noirs britanniques.
Oh my god, you butchered that so much. That is French. Blue foncé, l'air la plus sombre de noir britannique.
Britannique?
Mm-hmm. You don't really pronounce the S on the end. And French is one of those like where you don't really pronounce the whole.
Oh yeah, I
word.
forgot you took French, didn't you, for a little bit? Yeah, I took Spanish, so I don't know any of that.
I took both, but it's been a hot minute on my French.
Dark blue, the darkest hours of the Black British. He speaks with passion of one who has gone through the very matter he is concerned with. There is conviction, knowledge, and experience in his speech. Yeah, I've never studied anything in French, like ever. Why, I would have told him that he is an amazing speaker, if only I wasn't so engrossed listening. Prejudice and discrimination in schools and in the workplace. Lesser chances for opportunity and higher chances of being treated like a criminal. He spoke of blacks and people of color in general still being treated like second-class citizens, all because of the color of their skin. It is all just positively riveting and sad. Comes to a point where he soon loses steam. He looks abashed, realizing what he had just done.
Sorry, I just got so carried away and...
It's fine. It is really so fascinating to watch people talk about their passion after all.
I agree. It's really cool to see people, things you don't know anything about, and then someone, really is expert in.
You should see how your eyes light up when you speak so fiercely. You do have very beautiful eyes.
Chill, Hannah.
Oh, he is not gonna be happy about that.
Chill, Hannah.
Thanks, I guess.
I want to say that I understand where he's coming from, but I really don't, do I? I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I've lived a charmed life. It hasn't been perfect, but the difficulties I've been through pales in comparison to what others experience on a daily basis. Certainly don't know how I would have fared were it any different. Would I still have met Luke, and would he still have loved me if I was any lesser?
What was your home like?
That is interesting.
These things you talk about, it sounds like you've... Well, I don't mean to pry, I mean.
Live with my older sister and my grandparents. We had a shop selling all sorts of things below our flat. And well, I was one of the few non-white, non-British students in class. I didn't get pushed around or anything straight up. Even then, I was one of the biggest kids around. But a pencil and notebook would go missing, you know?
Oh, that I knew. Children could be so cruel at times. Of course, it may be a slightly different story when you have personal guards and the stolen item is not a pencil but an expensive heirloom.
So what about you? How you liking your new house? It's pretty impressive.
It's nice, I suppose.
You suppose? Not big enough?
What? No, oh, don't be a bully. It's just that...
I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
I was a little girl all dolled up and treated like fragile porcelain, with nursemaids waiting to me hand and foot. All the material possessions anyone could ever want, I could ask for on a whim and it would be handed to me just like that. But I barely saw my parents, just goodbye kisses in the morning before they went off to who knows where they were headed next. I saw them more often on the telly or in the papers than I ever did in person.
I remember my old house. It was a lot like this one. Big walls and big halls, but nobody in it. Not really.
It's lonely.
It makes you think how alone you are.
A pensive mood overcomes us, and then there's a moment where neither of us are sure how to go from there. Things have gotten a bit too personal, yet it isn't wholly uncomfortable, like as if we've been friends before.
Well, that's normal, ain't it? You just moved here. You'll make home out of it yet.
He certainly makes it easy to believe that. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one. Just as large and extravagant. And just as empty. I hope he's right.
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengaude Mansion. What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
And they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Honor Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. Blah, blah. Boring. You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, The Darkest Hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it. Those are the things that people should know about. What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
People, right?
Oui. People are shite.
Shite
Amen.
indeed.
What do you think?
She gets
Do I
it.
look good with this angle?
I strike a pose when he's being busy, looking taken aback for a moment, probably not expecting me to just go and say such a crass word. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he grins.
Yeah, vous êtes belle. You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French. You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents. Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
Oh, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry, but I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Can you cook your best?
I can cook just about
What?
anything as long as I know the recipe.
C'est magnifique.
It has been too long since I've had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, Lee is certainly not a good friend. And although we've just met, Zachary is the sort who can probably befriend anyone. He's just a comfortable person to be around with. A bit too comfortable. The photo shop went by a breeze. What? Photo shoot went by a breeze. I don't think they phrased that right, but okay. And somewhere along the way, as we talk and laugh, I find myself getting a bit too close without realizing.
Oh, Hannah.
Oh.
You better back
It'll
up,
give
girl.
me this strange look until I back up, and he'll go back to asking questions about after I agreed to do his little interview. And it's just odd. Well, no. Me being friendly isn't that odd. That is how I am. Zach. Zachary isn't the one that's being odd. Why, anyone else would absolutely welcome the extra attention I give them. He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it.
Because you're a married woman.
He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody had shown him his attention of this kind, and he's a big boy. He should be able to handle me. All it is a friendly touch here. Whoa. A pretty smile there and gentle swaying of the hips as I move around.
Lady, calm down.
Zachary grew and grew more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? Perhaps. This went on during the interview and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing, right?
Leave the poor boy alone. His heart can't take it.
Right? Zachary and I are just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least, that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted. Could you maybe stop doing that?
Stop? Oh. I think we should stop
Yeah,
doing that.
yeah.
I think we should stop doing that.
Leave the poor boy
I'll stop
alone.
if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie.
Not the sweetie.
Oh, it makes him think. We're good.
Yeah, chill, woman.
Sorry.
No, I should be the one apologizing. Why, you're a shy one, aren't you, big guy?
It's not that, but
He gestures to the ring on my finger and lets out the fact of the matter hang heavily between us. Being told implicitly that I am too forward is not a common occurrence. I think I'm more stunned at the fact that he pointed it out rather than, well, being rejected. Not that anything is going to happen between us in the first place. It was just going to be some harmless flirting, right?
So, you've never had a girlfriend?
no boyfriend either. You know, just in case you were gonna ask for that one next.
And you haven't even had your first kiss?
Not a one, ma'am.
Do you want to have your first kiss today?
Ooh.
Whoa.
Whoa!
Whoa.
What are you trying to do to the cinnamon roll over here?
Leave
Come
him alone.
on!
Leave him alone. Leave his
I
innocence
can't
alone.
help it. I really, really can't, and I am going to apologize lots later. Surely by the catty smile on my face, it is obvious that I'm just pulling his leg. The laugh I fail to contain certainly gives it away if it still isn't obvious. But still, he lights up in embarrassment, stammering and spluttering objections.
You're married, and this will be extremely unprofessional.
I never
Is he
said
like
I would kiss you,
later-
silly.
Later 20s?
Oh, Johans!
No, what? No! Don't call your butler. She's Hannah.
That would be for the better. I don't think his husband would appreciate it if I made him kiss another man. I do not think he can hear us from here either. But it is hard to think you're not taken, Zachary. Why, whoever becomes your girlfriend will be so lucky to have you. You can cook and take wonderful photographs. Wonderful meals and wonderful memories.
I can play guitar too.
Ooh.
You can.
He's a real
Guitar is cool.
He's a real swooner.
Yeah, he's got all the good attributes. Like, what?
And he ain't taking.
Right?
Wonderful serenades as well.
Well, I
then.
mean, he did kind of write a documentary, you know, about
Yeah,
black Britons.
Yeah, but before that.
Perhaps I can find a young lady who deserves a fine, strapping young gentleman like yourself.
Oh,
Let's
boy.
not get carried away.
Setting people up is the worst thing ever, because like you always get paired up with someone that's like you just don't like, and
And
you're
then
like,
they think
Besides, I gotta
it's
go.
like, oh, they'll be
It's
perfect.
getting late.
Yeah,
I got someplace else to be.
not at all.
A shame. I will be expecting you again soon, I hope. For a copy of my photographs, yes?
Course, I'll even deliver them personally. Just, you know, don't try to make me just.
As fate would have it, the very moment the words leave his mouth, Johans comes out of the house. Judging by the slight raise of his brows, he has heard only the tail end of the sentence.
There shall be no kissing of any butlers under this roof, Danke.
Why is he
You're
German
not
now?
under a roof, are you,
He's been
Hansi?
German.
Oh, I didn't even recognize that name being German.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not even gonna comment on that. Okay. To my amusement, he takes a step back, safely placing him with the threshold of the foyer and under the roof of the house. And just as ever, he is quick to return with a sardonic reply.
I am now. As I was saying, madam, it's about time for supper. Will I be needing to set an extra place at the table?
Oh, what? No, I was just leaving, actually. So, you have a good night, Hana. And you too, Hansi.
It was nice to meet you, Zach, honey. You have a safe trip.
He nods, and the grin on his face as we say our goodbyes is the sweetest I have ever seen. I linger, looking out for him with his relatively tiny bicycle, backpack safely secured in the basket by the front, and suitcase hooked to the back. I watch as he went down the path back to Anslem Village until he is nothing more than a blip in the horizon. Cannot help a small smile on my face as I go inside for supper.
And I think that's a good place to stop.
Oh, that was a lot of flirting. Holy crap.
Lady is thirsty.
I mean, her husband won't give her a kid, so not to say they don't do it, but like, you know.
Yeah, but how long has it been? He's hardly ever home.
Yeah, right, that is true. I mean, and he doesn't want one, so he's probably like trying to avoid it as much as possible, too.
Dude, condoms and contraceptives are a thing.
I mean, I know, but like, there's still always a chance, like, even if, you know, you use that stuff, so.
Plan B.
Yeah.
There's Plan B.
I mean, but she wants it, so.
No, I mean like the literal medicine called Plan B.
No, I mean.
For like day after.
Yeah, but does it always work? I don't really know.
As far as I know, high success rate.
I mean, it has a high success rate, but.
I mean, nothing is ever 100%.
Right. I mean, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's always that odd chance
Except
that.
abstinence. That is the only 100%.
Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. So, anyways, whatever.
We're not here to have sex
but,
talk.
we're here to talk about,
Getting a little hot.
yeah, she's definitely having some needs,
that are not being fulfilled.
least, but also, it might even be less of a sexual thing and more of a romantic thing, because, like, he's not always, like, really, truly, like, nice to her all the time.
Yeah.
And he's not home a lot, so she, like, wants someone to be around her, and,
she's lonely.
just be nice, and yeah, she's nice. And Zach's just a really easy person to talk to, so.
And Hansi can only do
Hansi.
so much.
Yeah, don't really think that's in his interests, but, you know.
He don't swing that way. He already taken.
He taken anyways, so, of course, that's, you know, not really what Hana cares about, apparently, so. Anyways, so that's a thing. She wants kids and a dog, and what's-his-face doesn't. And there's some, you know, arguing, but they're okay, but she still feels lonely, so it's like something's really not okay, but it's okay. I don't know, but there's that going on, and then, you know, the whole photograph with you know, lovely grudge lady. It was great. So I'm assuming that's gonna come back into play by the time we're done with her part. How, I don't know, but just a little unsettling. But anyways, we're gonna cut it short there and hope that things get more interesting in the next part.
Oh, they definitely will.
By the time we're done, we will see Grudge Lady again. So, thank you everybody so much for watching, and we will see you in the next part. Bye.
Bye.